For the wedding venue, see Bel Air Bay Club. The Bel Air Country Club is a social club located in Bel Air, Los Angeles, California. The property includes an 18-hole golf course and tennis courts. History: once upon a time, in October 1921, there was an orange grove in Santa Fe Springs that sprung an oil leak that turned into a geyser that produced a golf course 29 miles away that grew to become Bel Air Country Club. In the beginning, all the money came from Alfonso Bell, Sr., for it was he who discovered oil in his 200-acre citrus ranch. Bell then bought all of the chaparral-covered hills between what is now Sunset Boulevard and Mulholland Drive, Beverly Glen Boulevard and the Pacific Ocean. For that vast acreage, he carved out 1,600 choice acres, part of the former Mexican plot known as the Rancho San Jose de Buenos Aires, to stake his dream, an upscale, residential community with a golf course. Mr. Bell's wife Minowa formed the name of the new community as the Bel Air Estates, by a slightly altered combination of the family surname and the last word in the title of the former Mexican rancho. Fond of Italy as a result of a family vacation, Mrs. Bell then proceeded to assign Italian-based names to many of the streets in the new residential development. For his golf course, Mr. Bell initially selected an area near the current intersection of Sunset Boulevard and Sepulveda Boulevard, on the western edge of the residential community. His mules and plows were already defining fairways when suddenly Bell changed his mind, ordered stakes be pulled up and moved to the present site in the middle of his new residential community rather than on its western fringe. In early 1925, he engaged famed golf architect George C. Thomas to design the new course for the Bel Air Estates, with the front 9 north of Beverly Boulevard, and a back 9 to be placed south of the boulevard on 75 acres of property Bell intended to purchase from the Yance Development Co. Mr. Bell had entered into an agreement with Harold and Edwin Yance, who had become the owners of the 4,000 acres of the ranch land from Beverly Boulevard to Pico Boulevard, which they intended to develop for residential and commercial purposes. Alas, Mr. Bell's acquisition of the 75 acres from the Yance Development Co. for his golf course was not to be. The Yance brothers had separately submitted a proposal to the Board of Regents of the University of California to sell 300 acres adjacent to the 75 acres to be sold to Mr. Bell for the siting of the new campus of the university to be built in Los Angeles County, as the Board of Regents wanted to expand beyond the university's single campus in Berkeley on the edge of San Francisco Bay. However, concurrent with the proposal from the Yance brothers, Pasadena officials had submitted a proposal of 700 acres, more than double the Yance proposal in Westwood, for the campus to be built in the city of Pasadena. The initial vote of the University of California Board of Regents in early March 1925 was an 8-8 tie between locating the new campus in Pasadena or in Westwood. In order to break the tie, the Yance Development Co. increased its proposal to the University of California Board of Regents by 25% to 375 acres by cancelling the sale of the 75 acres to Mr. Bell for his new golf course. The University of California Board of Regents then voted 14-2 2 weeks later in late March 1925 to accept the enlarged proposal from the Yance Development Co. in order to site the new University of California campus in Westwood rather than Pasadena. The initial buildings of the new UCLA campus in Westwood then opened in 1929. Today, instead of the back 9 holes for the Bel Air Country Club, those 75 acres of the location of the UCLA School of Law, the UCLA Franklin Murphy Sculpture Garden, the UCLA School of Theater, Film and Television, the UCLA Marin René Luskin School of Public Affairs, the UCLA John Anderson Graduate School of Management, the UCLA Eli and Edith Broad Arts Center, the UCLA Ralph Bunche Social Sciences Building, and the UCLA Charles E. Young Research Library. But, for Mr. Bell and Mr. Thomas in early April 1925, they were stymied. With the 75 acres south of Beverly Boulevard no longer available for the back 9 holes of the new golf course, the challenge of developing an 18-hole golf course seemed impossible to solve. Fortunately, Mr. Thomas, on a last-gasp springtime hike in April 1925, had the eureka moment on a hill overlooking a then-barren 150-foot-wide ravine on other property that Mr. Bell owned north of the boulevard and, most importantly, he had not yet been subdivided for residences. After clearing some brush, Mr. Thomas and a companion hit a golf ball over the ravine. Mr. Thomas immediately decided the chaparral-covered hill could be flattened so that it would serve as the location of the clubhouse and the 10th tee, with the 10th green on the other side of the ravine and the rest of the back 9 plotted further west in a canyon that Mr. Thomas persuaded Mr. Bell could be used for the back 9 instead of sold as subdivided lots for new homes. Mr. Bell agreed with Mr. Thomas and soon thereafter decided to incorporate the Bel Air Country Club, Inc., which was officially recorded by the California Secretary of State on May 8, 1925. The construction of the clubhouse and golf course was completed in late 1926, with a special dedication ceremony on December 15, 1926. The now famous swinging bridge walkway over the ravine at hole No. 10 quickly became the club's architectural landmark. Mr. Bell continued to own the Bel Air Country Club until 1940, when he transferred to the members of the club legal title to the property and improvements, an act commemorated today by the bronze plaque in the grill room at the lower level of the clubhouse. Mr. Bell died in 1947 at age 72. Today, the Bel Air Country Club, with approximately 540 regular members and approximately 800 total members, is one of America's most exclusive and admired clubs. It is an oasis in the urban spread that is Los Angeles, snuggled within the residential community of Bel Air. The Bel Air Country Club has not hosted any PGA tournaments but has hosted 2 major USGA tournaments in its history, the 1976 U.S. Amateur and the 2004 U.S. Senior Amateur. It is of noteworthy significance that, since 1927, the Bel Air Country Club has been fortunate to have had in its employ only 3 golf professionals. For the first nearly 8 decades, Bel Air was served by 2 outstanding professionals, Joe Novak and Eddie Merrins. Since 2003, David Poders has served as Director of Golf and Head Professional. Honorary members. The club also has a program that exists to remember and honor well-known individuals. They're called honorary members. These include Arnold Palmer, Amy Alcott, Byron Nelson, Greg Norman, Ken Venturi, Ronald Reagan, and Luke Donald. Bibliography. Joe Novak, Bel Air Country Club, a living legend.